That smells good. No microphone today, my friends. Man, I'm dyslexic. Um, Recently, a friend of mine who does another channel with me had a Super Smash Brothers tournament at his brother-in-law's home, and I attended, and I did not do too well. But on the bright side, I left with a singular bag of home-roasted coffee. Now, I have not really ever had a lot of coffee outside of the local restaurants we have here, and Starbucks. I actually worked in a Starbucks for about 8 months, and so I'm not like a super expert connoisseur or so of coffee, but I wanted to support him in his roasting, and I also wanted to give coffee a try from someone else. Now, what we're having today is a medium roast Brazilian coffee. And, this is sort of an off the cuff video. I wanted to do two different kinds, one black and one with half and half. Because typically, if it's like a medium roast or a light roast, I'll have it black. If it's dark, I'll have a little bit of half and half. But while I was filming the intro that you just saw, I accidentally uh, poured a little bit of too much half and half inside the small amount that I was going to do that had half and half, and then the other half of coffee would be black. So I ended up adding the rest to it and making it at least semi coffee resemblant. So I wanted to be able to get like the nodes and everything from just the black coffee, but apparently we're not going to do that, which is okay. So I'm just going to give a first sip here and give my first impressions. Wow. Wow. I'm semi at a loss of words here. I mean, I'm not. I know I normally am a jokester, but I'm not even joking. This is delicious. Mm. Honestly, if I was not doing a video, I'd gulp this down really quickly. It's a Brazilian medium roast, as I said, and it has hints of chocolate. It's sweet and it's overall flavor, but it's not overpowering the more South American style. You see, that's typically what I go for is those Central and South America areas when it comes to coffees. Because they use a lot of darker tones and typically more savory than they are, I guess, citrus and tangy, which is a lot of what the African coffees are. So I believe he had a Kenyan blend as well, which I didn't spring for. But like, yeah, those more exotic flavors are not my favorite. I like things that are a lot more toned down. and dark. And I guess sort of just a little bit of information for those who don't know, coffee can only grow around the equator. So it's not like you have Canadian coffee. I mean, they might import coffee and then do it in a certain style, but most of the time you're going to get coffee from Central American areas and some of South America. You're going to get it from certain areas of the center of Africa, and then you're also going to get some from the South Pacific Islands. And the ones from more of the African area, like I said, they tend to have more fruity flavors, more exotic. A lot of them tend to be medium roast, but they're like just a lot more flavorful, I guess. And that's not necessarily why I drink coffee. It's sort of a break from the norm because I like a lot of sodas and that kind of thing. And coffee is something that is the opposite in that style. It's more, focused on milder flavors. And of course, they have diversity in what they have because we don't want to just have dark roasts. So I get why the African coffees tend to have like blackberry flavors and that type of thing, but it's just not really my style. For Starbucks training, actually, we had a host of different procedures we had to go through in order to understand all the different coffees that they offered, and I found that a lot of times the more fruity ones were not my favorite. I typically like those darker roasts. And also, I'd say when I started Starbucks, I would have preferred iced coffee, but more and more, especially on cool days, hot coffee is worth it. No pun intended. I think a lot of people are sleeping on hot coffee. A lot of younger people, that is. Especially if it's decaf. But yeah, this is delicious. And there's still too much half and half in here. I would like it a little darker, but that's my own problem. Next time I brew it, I will not mess it up. Wow, this is fine. It's been pretty interesting trying to upload more videos for the channel. I've got a couple plans, some skits, some fleshed out videos. I'm actually doing a tier list, so get hyped for that. I know that's all the rage these days. Wow. Of course, I'm gonna have to try this with different brewing methods. This was sort of an off-the-cuff thing, like I said, and so I went with like the Keurig little reusable ones that you just put the grinded coffee right into. But I might try this as an espresso, or at least steam some milk and try it out. I've got a couple of sugar-free sweeteners that might be good with it too. I could see like it blending well with like caramel flavor, I guess. So I'm gonna have to try that. But overall, shout out to Tony for selling me this coffee. And I don't know if maybe in the future, if I do another review of maybe another one of his coffees, I'll have to see if he's got a website or a social media page I can put in the description. In fact, I might try with this one to put that in the description as well. So maybe you could purchase some from him. I don't know if you can purchase it online or maybe at a convention or something. I'm not sure, but this is delicious. If I can support a local person as opposed to like a more corporate business, because like Starbucks is I think is in the top 5 like fast food chains in the entire world. So if I can support someone that's doing it out of their own home, I'm gonna do that. So if I had to rate this would definitely come down to a 5 out of 5. Very delicious.